according to the length of your product. Clamp a standard length of wood to the machine. You need to find the center point of the wood. Remove the screw at the clamping cylinder location. You can move the handle and clamp the wood. The handle is about 3 cm away from the wall. Use a wrench to secure all screws here. It must be fastened tightly and not loose. Move individual material shelves. Get the shelf placement in the correct position. Move the Z-axis position. Press cylinder 1 to eject the feeder. Put the wood on the shelf. Adjust the screws so that the center of the wood is aligned with the center of the shaft. The heights on both sides are adjusted to the same position. When all the racks are adjusted, fasten all the screws. Retract the gripper handle. Adjust the distance between the wood and the middle of the two thimbles. The wood is about 2 to 3 centimeters away from both sides. Hold the wood steady. Retract the feeder. Adjust the position of the stalker according to the position of the wood.
松开这些螺丝，上2个螺丝，对，让这一个前面，让后边这一个角铁，对，后面这一块。
Let the angle iron on the back of the shelf block half of the material.
好，挡住材料之后紧上，固定螺丝。
According to the width of the wood. Adjust the size of the stalker. But make sure the wood can fall smoothly inside. You need to reserve about 3 centimeters of space in front of the shelf. Take the wood away as the feeder pops up.
固定。也同样固定。方便这个材料弹出来。同样这个效果是一样的。好，把这个放下来了之后，然后再到这边。哪边？这里。
There needs to be a 5 mm distance between the pulley and the wood.
往前移动一点，让这个位置留一点的空间。怎么样？这也留一点的空间。把接料的。
Adjust the receiver to the center of the wood. It allows the wood to leave the machine.
移动的和在这两个在材料中心位置。下边螺丝拧紧。
Insert the screws. The thimble will move with the cylinder.
然后气缸。
Manual operation to check whether the wood can be delivered to the fixed position perfectly. Cylinder 1 ejects or retracts the feeder. Cylinder 2 clamps or loosens the wood.
然后按这是气缸夹，按气缸2夹住材料。你看哈，按好，气缸2夹住材料，夹住材料之后，然后再按气缸1收回。收回之后该什么？对刀。
Press S.CCW. Let the wood start to spin, then turn on the MPG function, and use the hand wheel to move the XYZ axis slowly. Using the hand wheel, move the XY axis. Let the tool leave a mark on the wood. Press S.Stop to stop spinning the wood.
测量出这两个痕迹的距离。
Use a caliper or ruler to measure the distance between the two traces, distance from center to center.
中心到中心的位置。1公分10毫米。10毫米。然后把测量。
Enter the measured distance into the control system. Offset for white tool.
然后把测量的距离输入到这个，首先点亮 MDR。
After each tool change, also like this, measure the distance between the two tools.
这就是两个刀之间的距离。
Then turn on the MPG function, and use the hand wheel to move the XYZ axis slowly.
然后移动车刀。
Rotate the wood manually. Let the tip of the tool touch the outermost corner of the wood. After confirming the cutting position, on the controller, hold down check and press data input twice. You will find that the XYZ coordinates under ABS will all become 0. This indicates that setting work coordinates is complete. The Z-axis safe position needs to be set. When turning is completed, the Z-axis returns to a fixed position. When the Z-axis is in this position, it will not affect the feeder to send the wood to the center of the machine. Move the Z-axis so that the limit switch is 3 to 5 mm away from the iron. Then look at the Z-axis value on the controller. Enter the value of the Z-axis into the parameter Z-safe distance.
Z 轴将走到这个位置，走到这个位置之后是不影响料从那里进过来。好。
Insert the USB stick into the controller. Before importing the file, check the parameter settings. Before importing any file, you need to check the parameters. After determining the parameters, in Programs, find the DXF file in the USB flash drive. Lights up MDI. Press out first, then enter a numeric number and press in. The system will automatically convert the DXF to the file used by the machine. G-code. Press Program again. Find the number you just entered. Light edit and press in. Make sure to run this file. Turn on auto, press cycle start, and the machine will turn. After turning is completed, the Z-axis will move to the safe position. After turning is completed, using the hand wheel, move the machine to the position to be slotted. Keep the turning tool further away from the wood.
Z 轴这个位置是走到需要拉槽的位置。
Z 轴找到大概拉槽的位置。
以这个车刀的点为准。
以这个点为止，就是从这个位置开始拉槽啊。
对。
啊。找到这个位置之后，打开。
Lower the engraving spindle.
这个。打开尾顶，尾顶是主轴下降。好，让主轴落下来。落下来之后移动。
Move the gimbal by hand to get the tool to the proper position.
主轴的中心。
Try to align the center of the spindle with the position of the turning tool.
然后固定主轴。
再往上一点，这个刀，这个拉槽这个刀，中间，得跟这个刀尖平齐。
哦。
The height is also the same as the turning tool position. ，After the position adjustment is completed, fasten each position of the gimbal.
固定好主轴架子。
Using the hand wheel, move the x-axis slowly. Let the tool on the spindle come close to and touch the wood.
你打开了那个洗主轴了吗？你打开尾顶之后，这个直接就切换了是吧？让工具的刀具的顶部对准材料歪着的位置，然后设置清零，在这个位置，然后是关闭。
Set a G55 coordinate for the milling spindle. In settings, move the cursor to XZYA under G55. Press the X or Y key of the keyboard pair, then press in. Then the machine coordinate data will be automatically filled in the position of G55.
导入自动，你现在是收回主轴是吧？收回之后就是它收回之后导入自动上料的一个程序。然后
Import automatic cycle turning code.
找到 U 盘里的一个文件，这个，然后MDR 输入输出。起个名字100吧。
The file imported this time is only used to start the automatic feeding function. If you want to turn the file, you need to modify the file name after M98. If the name is P10, the machine will turn the P10 file. If the name is P56, the machine will turn the P56 file. Now you need to enter some code in the file that needs to be turning. After finding the drive files, type M02 and press the down arrow to get to the end of the file.
和程序结尾之后，添加一些代码，然后再
Enter G55 and press EOB. G00X10Y0, G00Z0, move to the position where G55 milling starts.
然后按下 EOB， 然后 G55之后输入 G00 X负10 Y 0，按下 EOB， 回到这个位置之后，然后 G00 Z0 之后，调取拉槽的程序 M98。
Enter M98P203. Load subroutine P203 milling file.
203 拉槽程序 EOB。
Subroutine P203. After the work of the milling file is completed, enter G54 coordinates. The machine returns to the XYZ safe position of G54 coordinates.
54之后，然后回到 G00 X负50 Y 负50，然后是点 EOB。
After the code is added, press the JINAN key.
这是拉槽，拉完槽之后，选择54坐标回到这里，然后在这个位置停止。
Then import the milling file 203. First, check the modification parameters. Milling red set to 0.
改成1。这个是
Then set the rotation angle of each slot according to your needs. Twist angle. Twist length is the length of the milled slot file. Twist numbers is the number of slots.
4条。这个230是那个文件长度是吧？
After the parameter setting is completed, use the U disk, find the file of the milling slot, and import it into the machine. Name is 203.
203。
Some codes in file 203 also need to be modified. Depending on the model of the machine, the code M70 needs to be kept or deleted. Delete M70 for machines with automatic feeding function. Machines with a vertical spindle but no automatic feeding function, keep the M70 code. M71 same M70. Delete the safety distance of the Z-axis in the file. Press reset to return to the beginning of a file. Then modify the name after M98 in the automatic feeding file, 100.
自动上料的程序。你看看 202。
Change the other names to P203. Indicates that the 203 turning file is to be run during the automatic feeding process.
它没有记录器。就把它之前商量的
Make sure this location shows the 00100 file.
取下这个料。
Remove the wood from the last turning finish.
送。取下这个材料。
Click the auto button. Take a look at the current coordinates. Press cycle start.
自动按启动。哎呀，等。自动，不要停啊！接料，收回，继续送料，夹紧。撤销完成，回到起到点，起销开始拉槽。收料，打掉，收回。好。
Demonstrated below is a DXF file of the same milled slot. But the parameters inside the controller are different. The shape of the milled grooves is different. I modified the angle to 360. The length is 115. The number of slots is 2. After the parameter modification is completed, import the file again. Other file names .204. I am using manual clamping of the material. The automatic feed function is not used. So enter 204 and enter G55 coordinates. Note that the file running here is 00204 instead of 00100.
那个参数的。这属于两道，两道转2圈。
Install the engraving tool for the spindle. Adjust the gimbal bracket to make the spindle to a suitable height. Light up MPG. Use the hand wheel to move the machine slowly. Adjust the position of the tool according to the origin of your sculpt file. For these demo engraving files, the X position is in the center of the wood. The carving depth is on the upper surface of the wood.
升起来呗，升起来，然后夹住材料，夹住材料。好，夹好材料之后，先。
If you can find all 0 positions in XYZ axis at once, you can hold down check and press in twice. Also set X 0.0, Z 0.0, Y 0.0, A 0.0.
然后移动到材料表面。好，移动材料表面。材料表面之后。
If you want to set 0 for an axis individually, you need to enter settings, find the G54 location, press the corresponding letter on the keyboard, and then press in.
MD，
然后按设置，好了，选择到 G54 左右行，然后这里输 Y0， 这里有 Y0， 然后按输入，好了，按位置就可以看到 Y 轴已经清零了，可以再清一下 Z 轴，也是点亮 MDI 状态，Z0 输入，好了，
好，然后现在可以运行程序。
Import your finished sculpt file, G-code.nc file or .tap file. When importing sculpt files in these formats, there is no need to set parameters in the controller. These files are running code and are not associated with the parameters in the controller. After the file is imported, light up auto directly, press cycle start to engrave. If you want to automatically feed when engraving, you need to put the file 100, and modify the correct file name after M98P. Just run the 00100 file.